following podcast is brought to you by your friends at MAOSsedition.com. We hope you enjoy it. Hey, is this thing on? Greetings, everyone. Chaz Stevens here, MAOSsedition.com. I thought I would dust off, bring back the idea of a podcast, make it easier on my old fingers and typing. And today's podcast, first of 2013, involves the Deerfield Beach Housing Authority. I know you guys haven't heard me say anything, write anything about the DBHA in quite some time. There wasn't really any need to. My game plan was to get rid of the old regime, Pam Davis, Tom Connick, Bill Crawford, and try to get rid of Emery. Still that jury's still out on that fucker. The idea was to break the eggs, get rid of those guys, and allow a new team to come in. And as I told everybody, longtime readers of the blog will know, I kept on saying to these people, about those people, they're bad eggs. They're bad people. Nobody paid attention to them until I came around. Nobody had filed any public records requests, so they were on their little island on their own. And then I got notified by the former Special Projects Director, a woman by the name of Leslie Hall. Leslie came to me in February of 2010, I guess, and said, 2 months ago, 2 months beforehand, I was fired by the Housing Authority for bringing up some problems with whistleblowing. And 2 days after I bring up my problems, I'm fired for some malarkey. And she wanted to know if I would take the project on. Of course I did. And then ever since then, I've been working on it 3 years later, right? And I'm here to tell you, they're bad people. They lie. They cheat. They will do whatever is in their power to keep them in the power. In 2010, the Housing Authority fee attorney, a little creep we call Bildo, Bill Crawford, or I'm calling him from now on, Crawfuck. Bill Crawfuck billed $60,000 on legal services in 2010, mostly to bitch at me and Kessler. Kessler was the forensic accountant that the city hired to look into our street festivals and some of these other shit that was going around town. And then we had him look at the Housing Authority. And Crawford, at the direction of Pam Davis, and Pam Davis' personal defense attorney, a guy two donuts away from a diabetic coma, a guy by the name of Anal Glance, a.k.a. Tom Connick. They did everything in their power to shut us down. And it was $60,000 they gave to this Crawfuck guy. Just to put that in perspective, the previous 5 years combined for fee attorney services at the Housing Authority didn't equal $60,000. So now we circle up to 2013. Commissioner Mike Weiss, friend of the blog, he found out that this records room that they purported to build, which was just kind of a rebuilt broom closet, that they wanted to spend originally $33,000, and ostensibly it was because Chaz Stevens was filing so many public records requests. When in essence, it was the HUD people came to Pam Davis and said, "Your records are all fucked up. You need to fix it up." So they spent $33,000, or thought they were going to spend $33,000, and they didn't. They actually spent, I guess, $20-something thousand. $9,000 of it went to Crawfuck. And he spent $9,000 on doing bullshit. He could have cut and pasted all these records retention policies for any housing authority in the state of Florida. He could have done that. Instead, here's what he did. Here's what I opine that he did. To give you an idea, on 6/1/2001, here's what he billed for: receipt and review of 2 new outside accusations with defamatory expressions which were denominated as spam. Raising my hand over that's me. The problem with that is that's misappropriations of government money. Now, I realize it's only $45, but there's countless of these charges. But let me tell you why you should be bothered by it. The guy made $225 an hour. He worked 2/10 of an hour. or 20. Yeah, so we worked a fifth of an hour, $45. The problem is this: as a fee attorney, he can't represent any of the folks at the housing authority on personal matters. So he can't opine on if somebody got jacked up for a parking ticket, right? He can't do that. He's there to represent the housing authority. If Pam Davis, who was the former executive director, now she's up at Gainesville, she wanted to sue me for defamation of character, libel, per se defamation, slander, whatever the fuck she wanted, it would be a civil action. It would be Pam Davis versus Chaz Stevens. She'd lose, of course, but it'd be a civil action. So that if it's a civil action, why is the fee attorney using federal money opining on a civil matter? He can't do that, but yet he does that. And then here's another thing that's bothersome. When they were trying to shut me and Kessler down, I'm going to read this very slowly. This is a housing authority attorney. Okay, here's what he bills on. Research statutes on attorney-client privileges in the Florida Evidence Code, an exemption for non-published audit reports of internal. Prepare facts to client per client's request. Follow me? He was trying to figure out ways that they could bury fucking information. Hello? They're a public housing authority. The first word is public, duh, and or hello, which is like Carol Berner, that fucking nitwit. She wanted to shut down people disseminating public records. That was bothersome to her. That was bothersome. Like they wanted some island of I'm not quite sure what the hell was going on, right? They just didn't want me nosing around. Well, isn't that bothersome? This is all our money. This is all our money. So it's just more of the same. What are we gonna do with this? Nothing. Crawfuck, he's gone. Davis, she's gone. I'm meeting with the state attorney next week, hopefully, schedule permitting, to talk about the criminal investigation against her. I am telling you, she lied. I am telling you, she bid split. Those are things that are felonies in the state of Florida. Why do you think they never sued me? Why? Because I would kick their goddamn ass in discovery. We both know she broke the law. She knows she broke the law. I know she broke the law. Which takes us back to why I'm talking about the housing authority today. I started this conversation off with the fact of I don't talk about the housing authority anymore, and I don't need to. I did my job. My job was to get Jarman in there, Dr. Najeen Jarman. Well, I didn't know Jarman. I never met her in my life, but I knew that anybody was better than Pam Davis. We got lucky, especially with Chairman Keith Emery in charge. Fuck, that guy's a clusterfuck. But they got lucky by finding Jarman. They really did. If you talk to people around town, you talk to Peggy Nolan, they got everything to say about this woman. She hula hoops with the kids. She brought in $8.6 million in extra grants. The fucking housing authority didn't get $8 million in 20 years of all their grants together. Now this woman comes up with $8 million 6 months into the deal. There's talk about housing, that the Deerfield Beach Housing Authority taking over 1300 South Dixie Highway, that little Haitieville thing. Fuck. Well, put a bronze statue like that Dan Marino statue out in City Hall. If Jarman does that, she'll be famous for the rest of the days here. So I just stay away. I don't need to do anything. There's nothing broken over there as far as corruption is concerned. I'm sure that staff's got this issue or that issue. I don't really give a shit about that. That's not my gig. From what I hear from Weiss, the staff though is happy. They're smiling. They're upbeat. They got better insurance. They're getting raises. Their phone system works. They got rid of that paint. Berner, who's running for commissioner, had them paint this wall at the Stanley Terrace. It's like a dark maroon, and the guy was spanking the monkey, jerking off in the stairwells. I kid you not. And they called the police. A teenage girl saw this guy masturbating, not once but twice. The cops came out and ran him out of there. So I'm not making that stuff up. I mean, shit, you couldn't even think up something that funny. So they got new paint over there. They got new roofs. They got a new phone system. They got all this stuff. They got dental. And they got a garden that's supposedly blooming, and trees are looking better and everything else. And there's a thing going on here in Deerfield Beach where they gave Jarman awards. When's the last time we saw an award for Pam Davis? What the fuck? Oh shit, she's a high performer. Yeah, but fucking Jarman came in here and 10 more points on the high performing kind of deal. Yeah, so yeah, give me a break. And that's all those dumb fucks here in town. You got this guy girl androgynous thing called Brett Willett, and this little 5'4" gnome thing, Jeff Sales, and their buddy, this fat diabetic motherfucker, Anus Taylor. They're all, Pam Davis is the greatest thing since sliced fucking bread. No, she's a goddamn fucking crook. She split fucking bids. That's illegal. Illegal in my book, illegal in the state attorney's books. And when I go down and talk to Andre Alcalde and Tim Donnelly, we're gonna press this issue forward. They finally got a little time on their hands, I guess. Thank goodness. So it brings us back to Crawford. What do we do with this bill? Nothing. He is gone. He's an old fella. We can cross our fingers and count the days till he's no longer with us, and then we can clap our fucking hands and send him on to the next fucking world, wherever that goddamn thing is. And we can be happy that we have Jarman here in town. We can be happy for that. And then we can sit back and Mike Weiss, myself, Mike Kessler, Peggy Nolan, Burgess Hanson, we can all say, see, we told you so. We knew better. We knew there were problems. We knew that something had to change. And something did change. So for me, one final thought, for me, this whole deal, right? 3 years of working on this, I haven't earned a goddamn penny out of it. I've gotten threats of lawsuits, yada, 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 blistering attacks. There was one time where 10 people came up, spent 3 minutes to talk about what a douchebag I am. Well, they could have figured that out in less than 10, 30 minutes. But they all came up and blasted me, right? What an asshole I am. My whole deal has always been, throughout my entire life, talk to people. If you know somebody that really knows me, family member, close friend, ask them about them. They will tell you. It has always been through my entire life about helping the homeless, helping those most in need, protecting women and children. That's what matters to me. This has always been about taking care of our most fragile residents. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what gender they are. I don't care what nationality or they are, or religion they are. If they're home, if they're helpless, if they're weak, if they're fragile, they need protecting. We're their safety net. Not some fucking idiot woman who had a vernacular like a fucking 8th grader, and she's in Gainesville now. God bless her. Go fuck up them. Anyway, so that's it. So that's the new podcast. It's a little lengthy, but we're gonna bring some more of these forward, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till we meet again. The following podcast has been a presentation of MyAxisSedition.com. Copyright 2011.